Hello everybody, my name is Cameron Brown from the HowToCameron channel, the best channel on YouTube, I have you know. And today I actually have quite an interesting video, I think. It's quite a unique video. It's a video that I've wanted to make for quite a while. Cough cough, one day. Today I'm going to be talking about a big decision that I made recently, and I wanted to share it with you guys just because I know that quite a few people are going to be quite interested in the topic. I have become a No, I have not become a Muslim. That wasn't even a funny joke. I have become a vegetarian. Now, I've stopped eating meat for 3 days. I know some people are going to be going, oh my god, Cameron, this is just a phase, and after a couple of days you'll be eating meat again. No. I've wanted to be a vegetarian for, I would probably say, about a year, not gonna lie. And the reason why I didn't go vegetarian is because I was kind of worried about the effects of not eating meat. And there are a lot of misconceptions with not eating meat. A lot of people think that if you're a vegetarian, you won't develop as well, you won't have sufficient protein, etc, etc. And they were the limiting factors to why I didn't want to become a vegetarian. I did some research, however, and I realized that you don't actually need to eat meat at all, and you don't need any supplements if you're a vegetarian. As long as you eat a balanced diet, you can actually live a lot healthier of not eating meat in comparison to eating meat. So today I want to talk about this decision that I made. I want to put a disclaimer here. I'm not bothered if you eat meat, I really am not. But don't get angry if I think it's immoral that you eat meat, because I honestly do think eating meat in general is immoral. And I honestly believe that vegetarianism to a lot of people is very weird and negative. Like, a lot of people, if I was to tell a lot of my friends, oh by the way, I've become a vegetarian, a lot of people would probably just say, oh, where are you going to get your protein from? Stuff like that, right? That's how they would reply. They're pretty much ignorant to the topic, effectively. I don't think you can really judge vegetarianism or veganism for that matter unless you actually have been a vegetarian or a vegan, for example, because it's just hard to understand. It really is if you don't follow that diet. I want to talk about why I'm actually becoming a vegetarian. I'm also going to be talking about some misconceptions that people have about vegetarians. I want to clarify firstly before I start this video, do you actually know what the definition of a vegetarian is? I know a lot of you guys will probably understand because you guys are mostly intelligent, but a lot of people still think to this day that being a vegetarian means not eating meat but eating fish. What? Like, I know this guy at school, right, who used to claim that he was a vegetarian, right? And I had respect for him because I wanted to be a vegetarian, as mentioned before. But what actually happened is he would still eat fish, so he's a pescatarian. And I was like, okay, fine, a pescatarian. That kind of seems daft to me. I don't get why you'd stop eating meat, but continue to eat fish, even though fish is meat. And on top of that, he would eat foods with gelatin in, so he wasn't even a pescatarian. He was just a meat eater, pretty much, because gelatin is effectively meat and it's not from fish, so you can't even use that excuse. And he was getting all this honorability for it when actually he was technically just a meat eater like a lot of other people. So that really annoys me. But I am becoming a vegetarian. I say becoming a vegetarian. I've not eaten meat for 3 days, and I want to clarify something. I'm not an idiot, okay? Like, I'm going to weigh myself every single day to make sure there isn't any obvious weight fluctuations. I'm going to check for any malnourishment. That doesn't make sense. I'm going to check for any symptoms that may point towards me being malnourished because of a new diet. Because it's not even a diet, it's a lifestyle change. Like, I'll talk about why I'm actually going vegetarian in a minute. But I'm going to make sure that I check that, you know, I'm not losing weight, for example, because I'm not becoming a vegetarian to lose weight. A lot of people actually do become a vegetarian or vegan, for that matter, to lose weight. And honestly, if you are someone who is overweight, it really helps. Like, there are very few fat vegetarians. There just are. Like, you can be fat while being a vegetarian or a vegan, for that matter. It's just a lot harder. But I think, generally speaking, meat is one of the main causes of obesity. Because the thing is with meat, is you don't just have meat on its own. Like, for example, you don't just have a steak. You normally put sauce on it. You may marinate it. And you'll probably have it with, say, potato, like fried potato, bad potato, right? And I didn't even know bad potato existed, but I read about it. My dad's a vegetarian. He's extremely healthy. He hasn't really gained weight at all in his life. I mean, he's not, like, as skinny as me, but he stayed at a consistently healthy weight, and he doesn't do a lot of exercise. Like, he does a good deal of exercise, but he doesn't do an amazing amount. But he's thin because of that, and it made me realize that if he's thin because of him being a vegetarian, surely I should be a vegetarian to sustain that. So let's go through some of the reasons why I've become a vegetarian, and I want to clarify that if you don't agree with people who are vegetarian, that's just stupid. Okay, because I honestly think if you do a lot of research about vegetarian or veganism for that matter, and I would become a vegan if it was a lot easier, I'm not gonna lie, because I think it's hard to be a vegetarian, but it's a lot harder to be a vegan. And the reason why is because in society nowadays, we're so adapted to eating meat, right? Like, you can literally go to McDonald's and literally, like, 4 out of the 5 things on the menu have meat in them. And then if you were a vegan, like, at least 19 out of 20 things that they sell are not vegan. Like, it must be something like that. So just in that example, it's very hard to be a vegan. So that's why I'm not becoming a vegan. And also because I am growing, I don't want to take the risk of permanently damaging my health just because of a diet choice, really. But I'm becoming vegetarian. It's hard to be a vegetarian. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't miss meat. I'm not someone who gets cravings or anything, so it won't be hard for me to stop eating meat. But it will be hard for people to understand why I'm actually going vegetarian. So let me just go into these goddamn reasons. So number one, the biggest reason to why I'm going vegetarian is because of a comment. A comment war. In one of my videos, I criticized halal food. I said it's completely horrible how when we kill animals for meat, we do it in the most painful way, which is effectively what halal food is. And I had some people argue against me. They were wrong. Okay, not gonna lie, like, I know a lot about halal food. Like, I researched it. It was interesting for me to learn about. And it's kind of the gruesome way of killing animals. Like, they try to kill the animals with respect, but not really with respect to the animal, more respect to God, who doesn't exist. Oh god, this is gonna be a controversial video anyway. I can't bother to be nice. So effectively, I started getting very angry at this in the video, and I started to criticize religion. That's always a good start. And effectively, this guy got really angry in the comments. He was saying, oh, halal food is the most peaceful food, which was obviously wrong. And I started arguing against him. And then he said something like, oh, well, you claim that halal food causes suffering to the animal, which is true, but so does killing them anyway for meat. And it made me realize that I was just being a hypocrite. And I just didn't want to be a hypocrite, god dang it. And I was thinking to myself, fine, I'll do some extra research in this. And then the second reason why I'm becoming a vegetarian is because of the health issues related with meat. It's very easy for a meat eater or someone who loves eating meat to say, oh, meat, it's healthy. It's ironic how literally 90% of the people who have said that to me, not to me personally, but in general to vegetarians, 90% of the people who say that meat is healthy are overweight. Like, it's so stupid. Yes, meat can be healthy. It can be. Like, for example, if you just eat chicken breast, like, that is healthy, I suppose. But that's not what meat really is when you think about it. Like, I think of meat, I think of steak, burgers, etc. And I'm hungry. It's making me hungry talking about meat because I don't really have an issue with eating animals. Like, that's not really the issue I have. I have a very stern, strong mentality. Like, I'm not bothered. I'm not really that emotional when it comes to animals or just people in general. That's probably why I've gotten lots of trouble because of my channel, but shut up. It annoyed me how it's just pointless eating meat. Like, it's worse for you than not eating meat. Like, if you look at the average lifespan of meat eaters versus vegetarians versus vegans, the more significant the diet, the longer the average lifespan. And if people are living longer, it must be a healthier diet. Like, that's how it works. So just that alone, it made me realize that I'm happy with eating meat, which involves the killing of innocent animals, may I just say. It's crazy how, I think it's something like 30 billion animals are killed a year for meat. Like, no one cares about that. Like, not many people have an issue with that. And it's crazy how people think it's weird that some people are like, oh, I'm not happy with that many animals dying a year. I'm not happy with the meat industry. People call them weird and say what they're doing is damaging their body. And then you compare that to how many people died in terrorist attacks, which is a lot smaller of a number, which is still really bad. I'm not saying it's not, but everyone cares about that. Like, it just seems crazy to me how, say, for example, 20 billion chickens can die a year or whatever the number is. It's something like that. It's ridiculous. And and no one cares, pretty much. But then when, let's say, I don't know, 5,000 people die from terrorism a year, that's what everyone talks about all the time. It's crazy how people think it's weird for people to refuse that many animals dying. Thirdly is because I realized that life is equal. Like, literally an ant. Like, when you think about its relevancy in the universe, okay, this game really deep. It's the same as humans. It's the same as a dog, for example. And it seems crazy to me how if I was to kill a dog, for example, and eat the dog, I would actually probably go to jail for animal cruelty. But if I bought a cow and ate the cow, that would be completely normal. Like, that seems crazy to me, even though cows in general live longer, are more intelligent. Most cow breeds are anyway. They're more intelligent than dogs, especially pigs. But apparently that's fine. It just doesn't make sense to me how the meat industry works. I don't get how it's so normalized. It just confuses me so much, and it's not something I want to support. Number 4 is because meat in general is more expensive. I'm a cheap prick. You guys know that already. But I just don't like, it's just expensive, okay? Like, that's the reason why I just don't eat meat, okay? And the last reason is because I want to sprout a conversation. I know that the reception of this video is going to be very sparse. I'm going to have lots of vegans watching this video going, how dare you not be a vegan? Vegetarianism is not good enough. And then I'm going to have some vegetarians watch this video going, I respect your decision. Thank you so much for joining us. The dark side. And then I'm going to have some meat eaters who are like, how dare you? I love my KFC and I'm never going to change. And it's sad. It really is sad that everyone's so split. But I think the issue with meat is the fact that it's too mainstream. Like, everyone thinks it's fine to eat meat. And that's why it is socially acceptable. Because for something to be socially acceptable, people need to accept it. And people do accept it. And that's why everyone's happy with it. That's not a good enough excuse, though, for me to eat meat. Just because everyone thinks it's socially acceptable doesn't mean it is actually socially acceptable. It saddens me. I don't get why people eat meat. I really don't. And I would have become a vegetarian a long time ago if it wasn't for my lack of knowledge regarding a vegetarian diet. I never really researched how being a vegetarian was good for you. I thought that not eating meat was like an issue. It flipping isn't. Like, I've read so many articles about how vegetarianism is good for people growing, and there are plenty of actors, celebrities that have grown up their whole life with a vegetarian or even vegan diet, and they've still grown to a great height. They've never had any issues. Like, they've never had any issues related with their diet, and that seems crazy to me. It really does, because I thought that being a vegetarian or a vegan actually limited that growth. It doesn't at all. It's actually healthier to not eat meat because of the digestion time, for example. It slows down your metabolism. I know it may seem crazy to a lot of people. Oh my god, I can't believe you just don't eat meat anymore. But I can guarantee in 50 years, the percentage of vegetarians and vegans is going to go through the roof. I can guarantee it. And I honestly think that if you're someone who eats meat right now, if you're eating a goddamn hot dog right now, I'm not bothered, okay? Because the damage has already been done. The issue with eating meat, the animal holocaust, in which a lot of vegans call it, it's not happening because of individuals. It's happening because of everyone who eats meat. So if you're one person who's eating a hot dog, like, you're not the one causing the issue, but you're not rebelling against it. And I understand that animals are reared for food. And if you look at it in the most, blunt, heartless manner, yes, you won't feel bad for eating meat. But I don't get how people can act so moral when they eat meat. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. And I'm not trying to sit here. I didn't choose to be a vegetarian because I wanted to feel more moral than everyone else, which is what I do feel like. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to try and sugarcoat this. But it saddens me. It confuses me how people can think that they're so moral and criticize other people for being immoral when they do something, when they partake in something that is completely immoral, which is eating animals. And you know what else is immoral? The dairy trade. Milk. And that's something that I still partake in. And I would love to not partake in it, but it's too difficult to not. Like, it would be insanely difficult for me to be a vegan. So, I don't know really what to say. If you're someone who's a meat eater, please don't see that as a personal attack. I don't think diet has anything to do with the actual morality of our brains. Like, I don't think it's 100% related. But I'm being honest, okay? And if you don't respect my honesty, just leave. How about that? Leave this video, watch one of my other videos, which will be as funny as hell, of course. But it's just something that I've had on my mind for a long time. I can't bring myself to keep eating meat. I know that this is a serious video, and I'm not making it to try to convert people to vegetarianism, but I just want more people to talk about it, because it's crazy how people think that being a vegetarian is weird. They think that being a vegetarian is wrong and unhealthy, when it flipping is insanely healthy, and also when it's actually moral. You know, it's not immoral in any sense, even though people perceive it in that manner. And when I mean people, I mean meat eaters, the high proportion of people. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know that there's going to be a massive mixed reception due to this video, and honestly, I'm happy with that. I'm happy to get hate on this video, because I'll happily be honest, you know, unsubscribe, leave, I'm not bothered, okay? I never will be, you know. I'd prefer to have a fan base that actually listen to my opinion, and if you disagree with me, leave a comment. I'll happily reply to you. It's not a inert opinion. It's not something that's sticking with me. Like, if I said something that you don't agree with and you argue against it in the comments, it may change. My opinion may change. So, I don't know. But, seriously, if you've never thought about vegetarianism, why not? Like, why not do some research in it? Oh yeah, Cameron. Oh, I want to enjoy my burger, actually. I don't want to have to worry about not eating meat. What the flip, Cameron? If that's what you think, fine. But I can guarantee that you'll think about it eventually. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment and also subscribe to the channel if you're new today. Bye.